Roxo Media House.
From Allegiant Stadium here in Las Vegas, Nevada, this is a special edition of Frogs Today, on location at the 2024 Big 12 Football Media Days. The summer is over and football is around the corner, and we are joined by Sonny Dykes from the City of Lights and 5 of his impactful student athletes from both sides of the ball, and our athletic director Jeremiah Donati on the wild and uncertain world of college athletics. We also hear from Big 12 Commissioner Brett Yormark on the dynamic state of the league, the deepest football conference in the country. Women's basketball news includes USA 3-on-3 Olympian and new LSU transfer Hailey Van Lith stops by before her journey to Paris. It's Tuesday, July 16th, and I'm your host, Keegan Cunningham, with TCU Football. Big 12 Media Days is basically the end of summer. Our fall camp starts on July 30th, and the Big 12 Conference is growing every day. Teammates Jack Besh, Josh Hoover, Mike Nichols, Caleb Fox, and Nnamdi Obiazer joined us last week on the Frogs Today set on the field at Allegiant Stadium. We get their first impression of Las Vegas, the Big 12 preseason polls, expectations on the upcoming season, and much, much more. And another bit of news in the TCU athletics world, we caught up with new LSU women's basketball transfer Hailey Van Lith before she headed to the Olympics yesterday. We get all that and more after a word from our sponsor, the Flying T Club. We'll be right back.
You know, we wouldn't be able to do the things we were able to do this year without the Flying T Club. So we got to continue to get people involved. It's more important right now than it's ever been.
Flying T is special. It's the best thing that I've encountered in college. It allows us to be able to offset a lot of the costs that our scholarships aren't able to cover. If people like winning, invest in the Flying T Club and NIL. This is really great for athletes and just for future students who want to come here and be a part of something special, man. I just think it's great.
It just means a lot to us players to see all the support, and it's huge.
At Higginbotham, we put people first. So we simply start by listening to you. Whether you're searching for customized insurance, HR, or financial solutions to protect your home, car, health, business, or employees, our specialists are here to serve you, the people you care about, and your success. Higginbotham, insurance, HR, and financial services. Inspired by you.
Energy does everything for us. It's all-encompassing.
We're all benefiting and affected from it.
And it is something that we all need to know about.
It is the glue that holds everything together.
TCU is powering what matters, our future.
We don't just talk about what's needed, we focus on results.
The Ralph Lowe Energy Institute is creating a world where energy is affordable, sustainable, and reliable.
Welcome back into our special Frogs Today edition, getting you caught up on Big 12 Media Days from Las Vegas. I'm Keegan Cunningham, and with a schedule conflict at AT&T Stadium, the site of the 2024 Big 12 Football Media Days took to the City of Lights and the home of the Las Vegas Raiders, Allegiant Stadium. And we have to start with Commissioner Brett Yormark. From salary cap to revenue sharing to conference expansion, the Big 12 is prepared for this new era of college athletics.
There has never been a better time than right now to be part of the Big 12. We are truly a national conference in 10 states, 4 time zones. And all eyes are now on the Big 12 for all the right reasons. And I think it's safe to say we are more relevant now than ever before. Before I look forward, I'd like to recap where we've been for the last 12 months. Since our last football media day, we added the 4 corners and solidified ourselves as one of the top 3 conferences in America. All 4 schools are here with us today, and you will hear from them over the next few days. I'm incredibly excited about what they bring to our league. Last season, Big 12 football fans packed the stadiums. 6 Big 12 teams averaged 100% in home capacity. All schools averaged over 88% capacity. There was incredible late season excitement heading into the Big 12 championship weekend. During our football championship, we introduced the first ever halftime show with Nelly, featuring our school bands. I think that was a great example of how you infuse the old with the new. And our ratings peaked at halftime, and we brought in a more casual audience to experience that halftime show. We had a record-tying 9 teams in bowl games, and we had the second best win percentage. We saw success across Olympic sports and basketball too. Men's basketball had a record high 8 teams in the NCAA tournament. Women's basketball had 7 teams in the tournament, in fact, the most since 2013. 6 NCAA titles were won in sports such as cross country, tennis, and track, to name a few. What led to our success on the field was, of course, our incredible student athletes.
Our head coach, Sonny Dykes, mentioned that the Big 12 is at the forefront of innovation. We were joined by our athletic director, Jeremiah Donati, and he weighed in on his thoughts on that.
Well, we're thinking differently, and what a wonderful time to have such a bold and big thinker, a big visionary like the commissioner. I'm excited to hear his remarks here in a few minutes. But, you know, we really are. I think Sonny nailed it. This really is a conference of innovation. We are the most nationally relevant conference. Never been a better time to be a member. And so, you know, this is, I believe this is year 13 for us. Amazing, right? So we're proud members and just really, really excited about the direction and the vision of the conference going forward.
Aside from the fact that every week will matter with star power across the league with players and coaches in football, basketball got even better, including Olympic sports, and Commissioner Yormark mentioned that student-athlete support is at the forefront of what the conference focuses on.
So as you can tell, 2024-25 will be a very exciting year for the Big 12. On the football front, we will be the deepest conference in America. Every week will matter. I'm going to say that one more time. We will be the deepest conference in America, and every week will matter. We have star power and parity. We boast some of the top players and coaches in the game. November will be incredibly exciting, and we will brand it as a race to the championship. Beyond football, the best conference in basketball got better. Our Olympic sports got stronger, adding 4 programs with an incredible history of excellence. We recently made some changes across our competition team. Our Olympic sports leadership team is one of the best in the country. Scott Draper is now overseeing all Olympic sports in addition to his role managing football. Dana Scherf will oversee women's basketball. It's the first time we've ever had anyone in that role, and given the growth of the game, we needed to double down. We hired Lisa Peterson from the Pac-12 as our new VP of Olympic sports. Student-athlete support continues to be at the forefront of what we do. We have over 70 current and former student-athletes participating in this year's Olympic and Paralympic Games, and I plan on being in Paris to support them all. This year, we'll see Big 12 create new opportunities for our student-athletes on and off the field. Last week, we launched the Big 12 Beyond Borders program, a cultural studies and leadership program for our student-athletes. We will introduce a new governance group to give a greater voice to student-athletes. In fact, we took that idea from the Pac-12. The league will assist schools with student-athlete storytelling to help build their brands. We will introduce original student-athlete storytelling content this year, named 12 for 12. We will also continue to work with the NCAA to protect our student-athletes from the negatives that come with sports betting, especially prop bets. Lastly, I am thrilled to announce the launch of the Big 12 Alumni Council. The Big 12 has produced some incredible talent over the years, both on and off the field. This council will provide a former student-athlete perspective for the league as we continue to grow.
There is a lot of work to be done in the conference, and Yormark explains there is no time for pause, and explains how important cohesion and unity will be between the 16 member institutions.
We have a like-minded group, which I think is paramount. And our ADs like each other. They compete, but they like each other, which is perfectly fine. You can compete and lean on your colleagues for advice and guidance, and I see that from my perspective. There's great rapport amongst our ADs. It's a great fit. I'm blessed to be working with each and every one of them. I think continuity makes a lot of sense amongst the ADs, and I'm hoping that presents itself over the short and long term. But we got a great group of ADs, and they're working hard to build the Big 12, our brand, our business, and I'm excited to be working with each and every one of them. When I got here, people warned me prematurely that things in collegiate athletics don't move that fast. I can assure you, working with our ADs and our board, at least in the Big 12, that hasn't been the case. If you think about what we've been able to accomplish over the last 24 months, it's been incredible. And I tip my cap to our ADs and our board for wanting to be positively disruptive, wanting to break boundaries, create new partnerships that could create value for the conference, both short and long term. So we're moving at a great pace right now. Excited about all the things that are in front of us. And as I said earlier, we can't pause. We've got to continue to be bold and aggressive, but thoughtful at the same time.
For the full interview and more, go to frogstoday.com. Donati talks about the importance of connecting with fans and alums and have some fun with it through his social media platforms as well, as how this world of college athletics is wild and uncertain, and it starts with TCU.
Conference realignment is a living, breathing thing, and there's noise about what's going on in other conferences, and so we just got to keep our head down and keep being the best version of us. But we're lucky to be so well supported, and the chance when the president are here in Las Vegas to come out here for Media Day, that says a lot. I think you'd be hard pressed to find most presidents and chancellors out here, but it shows you the commitment at the very top here at TCU. I mean, the thing about our business is it's constantly changing. If you're not getting better, you're getting worse, because the competition is fierce, and not just on the field, but in every other department, everybody's trying to do it better. Everybody's trying to, there's a lot at stake right now with the House case being settled and going to NIL and revenue sharing. We got to make sure that that we can't forget that. At least in our case, we have 250 full-time employees, 530 student athletes. You have, almost 800 people that you're responsible for. And so we got to make sure that we're continuing to invest in our people. That's your best asset. And so whether it's, finding ways that they can connect with each other and make sure we have a really strong culture, those are all really important. So you got to keep, there's no finish line for that type of stuff. You got to keep working on it. You got to be intentional about it, and you got to be consistent with it. It's my job to promote the programs, and so I want to do that. I want to do it in a tasteful way, and but I also want to have some fun with it, and any way that I can, connect with fans or alums, whether that's, kind of showing a little bit of my personal life, I get a lot of response from that. It's a great way to connect with Frog fans. So, you can't do it all day, and I'm not one that kind of lives on social media. In fact, sometimes you need to kind of distance yourself from it, but I have fun with it. I try to take myself too seriously, but first and foremost, the goal is to promote the programs and to keep building on the momentum that we have.
Dykes continues the conversation with his thoughts on this dynamic and ever-changing world of college athletics and how Yormark is ahead of the game.
You just look at what Brett Yormark has done as a commissioner, and he's not afraid to rattle the cage a little bit. You know what I mean? College football historically has kind of been slow to change, and we're living in this world where things are changing incredibly fast now in college football. And the great thing is I think Brett is always ahead of the game. I think he's trying to think about ways to position the league and not afraid to try something that's different and maybe a little bit outside the box. And so, I think we'll end up playing games in Mexico before long, and doing a lot of different things to build the brand, the Big 12 brand, and which again I think is good for the league. I think a year ago, if you had said that we would be adding 4 teams from the Pac-12, and I don't think anybody would have believed any of this stuff, and really it all happened because of Brett and his ability to kind of see what's happening ahead of time and try to be as innovative as possible.
5 TCU Horned Frogs joined the Frogs Today set at Allegiant Stadium, and we got information on everything from what to expect coming out of the spring, the Big 12 preseason polls, what they add to the team, and what TCU football will look like on August 30th when they open the season on the road at Stanford. On the offensive side of the ball, Jack Besh, Mike Nichols, and quarterback Josh Hoover talk about the spring and expectations going into the fall.
I'd say you're going to see a whole lot of just fast, physical athletes, just like to fly around, make plays. And then as far as the defense itself, we're going to come out with some new stuff for Stanford, and then, Even after that game, each week is going to be different, just depending on who we play and what players they got.
No, it's been awesome. We're going to have an electric offense this year. Definitely second-year offense is always way better because you have started to learn the nuances of the offense. You can play without thinking, which allows you to play much faster. And we just have so many guys that can make so many plays. We have so many impact players. So, yeah, no, putting this thing all together, like I said, it's going to be electric. It's going to be a lot of fun. And I know we're all itching for it to get started.
With the Big 12, I think it's just every game is a one-possession game. And you will never really see a bunch of blowout games in the Big 12. Like, if you want to see exciting football, go to the Big 12. Pick a team you want to cheer for, and it's going to be a battle every week.
I mean, it's a motivation for us. I mean, we don't want to be the reason we're not successful because everything starts up front. So for us, it really keeps us on point.
Yeah, it's been a lot of fun, just kind of with this new college football stuff and the transfer portal, you get 20, 30 new players, like even including freshmen. So it's like almost every year it's a new team. So, we kind of been doing just team builder things. And I feel like it's better to kind of do them right now going into the season and kind of just doing forced things when you're already playing games. So
I mean, all of our backs are great. I mean, Josh, he's a great guy. I mean, he's around all of us all the time. Even Ken and Haas and all those guys are great to be around. They all show love to us, so it's great.
Playing the last, half of the season last year kind of just gives me confidence going into this season, and I kind of feel like I've kind of been there and experienced some of the things you have to experience, and so now I'm just focused on being the best I can be and playing good football and playing quarterback well and giving our team a chance to win, and so it definitely makes a difference going into this season, just being confident and ready to go.
I mean, well, this year, it's different because college football has changed so much, but it's kind of an element of getting to know the guys around you and getting to trust them, playing with new guys, that you haven't really grown up with, but it's interesting, and I think we've done a really good job at it as well.
Goal is probably just get a full understanding of the defense, just because I like being able to know what every other position is doing, just because it helps me to help them. And then probably just becoming more of a leader. I've stepped out and become more of a vocal leader this year, so probably just keep taking steps towards that. This is the first time since really the end of my freshman year I felt like this, feel 100% healthy. Spring was awesome, really got to show what I could do. Now I'm ready. We've had an awesome summer workouts, and I can't wait to be able to put everything together this fall.
Coach Ricker's done a great job developing everybody in our room, and he's even done a great job of developing me and all my peers as young men as well. So
until you do it, you don't really know. And so once I got in there and got my feet wet, I knew that I belonged and that I could play. And so it just kind of gave me that confidence that that I could play this game and lead our team and be the quarterback that we need to have. So that was kind of a big confidence booster for me, is just getting in there and playing, and just the competitiveness within the game and the conference is just really exciting and something that I love.
Our defense as a whole, they're a pretty good unit, and they're really disciplined now. But also for us as offense, getting to practice against a defense that throws a bunch of different looks at you is very beneficial. Because granted, you can't scheme up everything in practice and get a scout look on it. So if we get to see it, we saw a lot of different stuff in the spring, so it's good for us. So with anything we encounter, we should be able to pick it up.
Yeah, I just want to make the biggest impact I can on and off the field. I want to be the greatest leader I can be to my teammates on and off the field. I want them to be able to see the hard work that we all put in. I'm talking about the fans, and see the hard work we put in. So when that game comes in Palo Alto, we can go show everybody, what we're made of. We have a standard that we're going to play to. Every game, there's a standard that we practice. We practice that day in, day out, and we're, like I said before, we're just excited to go put everything together and head to Palo Alto and get this thing started.
Wide receiver Jack Besh was mentioned by Dykes as the spring offensive MVP. He talks about what that means and also what that quarterback room looks like.
It always means a lot when the head man says something like that about yourself, but, it's all about the team. The only focus on my mind and everybody else's mind on the whole team is going out to win games. So, like you say, it's always awesome to get personal accolades, but those usually come once the team is doing great. So, we're just focused on winning games. Yeah, no, it's been great seeing them. There's completely zero animosity between the guys in that QB room. They're literally just there to get each other better. Iron sharpens iron, and they've done a hell of a job doing that. They push each other day in, day out. You can see the impact and the difference they've made. Up to this point, like I said, we just can't wait to keep going. and we all have great chemistry with all three of the QBs. So it's going to be, like I said, just super awesome to put it all together and go out there and get the season started and see what we can do and accomplish.
How is quarterback Josh Hoover feeling, and how can he take a strong start from last year and lead this offense back to the national championship game? According to Dykes, he can lead and has some magic to him.
Yeah, I feel awesome. Body feels great, better than I've ever felt. I mean, seriously, I have more pop and more, just feel great. So throwing wise, everything, I'm all good and ready to go. So it's been a good summer. We're looking forward to it. It's really cool and it's awesome to hear. Definitely good to hear from your coach. I mean, you respect that guy so much that, when something like that's said, it means a lot. So, I believe in our guys and I want to be the best quarterback that I could be. And being just a quarterback isn't about just how you play on the field. It's about how you conduct yourself every day, and it's about how you form a relationship with guys, not on offense, not just defense, but everyone in the building, and just who you are every day. And so that's something that I focus on, is just trying to be just have an intent to what I'm doing, and always, thinking behind the scenes about where I can be better and how I can do certain things to help our team be successful. And so I definitely take that compliment very seriously.
What were some of the takeaways from the spring from the outside looking in, as he wasn't able to participate due to injury? And how has it been working with Ken Seals and Haas Haney?
Yeah, I think for me the biggest thing is just taking care of the football and not turning the ball over and making careless mistakes. And so that's going to be the big thing for me going into this season, and something that I've worked on. And a lot of that's just experience and seeing different defenses and knowing what to do in certain situations. And so I think that's going to be a big improvement this season and something I'm really focused on. And it's going to be something that helps our team win. It's great. It's a great quarterback room. I love the guys in there. We're all really close, and we all they all compete and do a great job. And so definitely a really competitive room, and that only makes everybody better. And so it's been great, and it was good to sit back in the spring and just learn. And I kind of saw the game from a different perspective, kind of more of like a coach's perspective, just from watching. And so it just gave me an opportunity to see things a little bit differently and maybe see how I can lead better when I come back, and things I can do different to help our team.
Here is what Coach Dykes said about Hoover and the magic he has in him.
I think he's one of those guys that can get it done, and I think our players have tremendous confidence in him. And and that's what made Max so special, was when he got in those tough games and those really tight games, everybody believed he was going to make a play. And I think the same guys feel that way about Josh. And so, hopefully it'll play out the same way. Yeah, really, I like our quarterback room a lot. I think there's a lot of different kind of guys in there. Ken's got 16 games started under his belt in the SEC, and then you got Haas, who's a young guy that's been incredibly successful, at Aledo, and got a great skill set, and obviously can run and present some challenges for a defense as well. So really like the quarterback room. I think it's a great room, and ready to watch those guys play.
Hoover was recruited by Dykes at SMU before Dykes moved up to Fort Worth. Hoover ended up at Indiana, and then was Dykes' first call when he took the job at TCU. Hoover takes us through that process.
I wasn't a very high recruit. Many people didn't really know about me, and I wasn't, a very highly sought after recruit. So Coach Dykes was always kind of on me early on. He was one of the first guys to recruit me and offer me, and so I always really liked him and his staff. And so whenever they went to TCU, it was an easy decision. I really liked Fort Worth, and I wanted to be close to home as well, so my family can come and see me. And Bloomington, Indiana is the easiest place to get from Heath, Texas. So it was definitely a big deal for me to stay close to home and play for TCU. And I'll never forget, when he offered me, and my first thought was, we're going to win Big 12 championships. And so that's what I'm focused on, and that's what I want to do. And I believe in our team, believe in myself and our coaching staff. And Coach Dykes is definitely a special coach, and I enjoy playing for him.
On the other side of the ball, Caleb Fox and Nnamdi Obiaizer led the defense with tremendous experience.
Coach Avalos had different coaching style than past coaches. He's going to use every second of every meeting. If he has any opportunity to get better, he's going to find it, which I think is good.
I feel like really good with the entire defensive line. Nana came in. He was one of those people that transferred in. And me and him have talked a lot about just what we want the defense to be in the future, especially the D-line. And then, just seeing young guys starting to step up like Marcus Deal and new guys, and just being able to see them go from the last year, their freshman year, to see how much they've grown to this year. It's really cool to see.
It comes down to being selfless, just as a player, just kind of doing the plays you have to make the team win, doing the play you have to make your teammate win. Like, you're not going to make every play, and you're not going to just I feel like you kind of have to give up yourself a few times to let your teammates eat, and then I feel like that's just gonna work out because like the years past, not everybody kind of had that mindset, and I feel like if everybody gets the mindset of doing whatever it takes to win, it all work out.
The difference between the defenses is more like I feel like we're more dynamic. Like we're able to do more things with a 4-down front, and we can switch to a 3-down front, blitz whoever we want, honestly, and drop whoever we want back in coverage. So I just feel like it adds like multiple more layers to the defense in order to, be the type of defense we want to be.
Biggest thing I've seen, because I've always felt like TCU has talent, we can compete against anybody, but like the mindset of the whole team, I feel like everybody really wasn't there, but I feel like not last offseason, like this spring and fall right now, spring, summer, Kaz and Coach Dyke's been doing a good job just trying to get everybody's mindsets of what we need to be thinking going into the season.
I want the defense to be known for stopping the run. That's first off. That's always first off. And then I want to be like one of the top 10, top 5 defenses in pressuring the quarterback. Because when you're able to pressure the quarterback, that takes a lot of work off the corners, and it just helps us as a whole team.
Coach Dykes talked about the defense, led by new defensive coordinator Andy Avalos.
Yeah, good. I think that, it's like anything else. It's always hard when you change, and especially, Coach Gillespie was such a great guy, and everybody loved him and respected him so much. And when you have change, it's hard. And Andy did a good job coming in and just saying, look, this is how we're going to do things. This is who I am. And he's got a real systematic approach to things. And I think the players, it took him a while, but I think once they understood the way things are and they're going to be, I think they understand why we do it. And this is why it needs to be done this way. And so I think that'll allow us to get the most out of those guys. And at the end of the day, that's what coaching's all about. It's about getting the very best you can out of each individual players, and then those guys combining to make a team and trying to get the most that you can out of that team and get them to play their capabilities. And like I said, I thought we did a really good job in 22 of doing that, and a really bad job in 23.
Coach Dykes continued on what it's going to take to get back to that national championship game.
We've got to, do the little things right. Got to get better at the little things. We were so good at those in 22 and so bad at them last year. So that's the lesson I think we've all learned is, you look around the Big 12, almost 2/3 of the games are going to be decided by one score. And so you're going to have very minute differences between teams. And, the most disciplined teams are going to win, the teams that, protect the football the best, the teams that create turnovers, the teams that have few penalties, the teams that execute well on 3rd and 4th down, on offense and defense. Same thing in the red zone. I mean, all those little things that people talk about all the time, explosive plays, all those are going to make a big difference in these games. And so, we've got to be really well prepared for those situations. And so we've spent a lot of time in the spring, working on our 2-minute offense. We were 0 for 4 last year with opportunities to win games at the end of games, and had a great chance to drive down, kick a field goal, and win a football game. We couldn't do it 4 times. And so those are things obviously we got to get better at. And if you want to win at a very high level, you got to do those things. Yeah, I thought we had a good spring. I thought we were ahead of where I thought we'd be coming out of spring. And I think it's important for us to be ahead of where I thought we'd be coming out of fall camp. And so, last year felt like we were way behind coming out of spring. I felt like we were way behind coming out of fall camp. I feel like we were way behind coming out of the Colorado game. I feel like we were way behind week 12. Just for whatever reason, we could never get caught up last season. And just learning how to approach the game and doing the right things consistently. And so this group, I think, is way ahead of where I thought we'd be at this stage, especially with a new defensive scheme. But again, you got to credit Coach Avalos. He's done a great job of developing those players and making them play with confidence. And I think that group has a chance to be really good. I'm excited about our defense and ready to watch them compete.
Does it matter that we were picked 10 out of 16 and weren't included in any of the preseason offensive or defensive teams?
I think we were ranked 7th before that national championship year. So I think it kind of just puts that, like you said, hunter mentality into our minds. And that's a lot about what Coach Kaz has been talking about this summer when we've been doing a lot of sports psych and working on like the mental of the whole football aspect and everything like that. He's just talking about how you always like want to have that dog in you, as people say. But I remember I saw this one video. Jerry West was like, "Everybody's a dog, but I'm a wolf," and I'm like, so like, it is what it is. But I think it just gives us like a good hunter mentality and to go out there and just prove everybody wrong.
I think that's the way we like it. We like hunting. We love hunting. You know, we want to go out there. You know, we not that we're gonna have a chip or a chip on our shoulder or edge about us, but you know, we like being the hunters. Like I said, we like flying under the radar and going to attack and you know, jump up on people. And you know, halfway through the season, people are gonna know what's coming. But you know, before then, you know, we're definitely excited to, you know, at the same time though, we don't really think about, you know, those rankings, but we also know that we are going to be flying under the radar a little bit. And like I said, though, we definitely like that.
Because at the end of the day, people going to have their opinions, and it's the preseason poll. So at the end of the day, we just have to increase from what they think, and just when the season ends, that's when you want to be on the top.
I mean, we try not to pay attention to the outside noise and just really control what we control. So we can't really control anybody's perception of us. I mean, if they really haven't even seen us play, they don't know what we're about. So hopefully we can prove them wrong.
I think the players pay attention to that stuff maybe a little bit more than we do as coaches. You know, when we had that really good team in 22, I think we were picked 9th in the league. I don't know that anybody worried too much about that. You know, last year I'm sure we were picked higher than we finished, and so, you know, you just have to focus on, you know, doing your job and getting better and taking it a day at a time. You know, and just making sure that we're a better football program tomorrow than we are today. And all that stuff is kind of cliche, but it's true. And, you know, the way you get recognized, and I tell our players this all the time, is by having success. You know, and Max Duggan was, you know, basically this time 2 years ago was a backup quarterback and ended up finishing second in the Heisman Trophy. And so you just got to keep your head up and keep pushing forward, and, you know, and just keep taking advantage of opportunities when they happen. And all those guys did that. We did that really well in 22, and we did a really poor job of doing that in 23. And so I like this team. I like the makeup of them. I like the way they work. I think it's an unselfish group. I think the guys are really committed to being as good as they can be, and we'll see where that takes us.
Yeah, it's a little different than last year's feel. I think, you know, sometimes coming off a good year, like everybody's looking to play TCU, right? So it's a little bit different, but that stuff doesn't matter. I could care less about, you know, where we're ranked, to be honest. That doesn't make a difference to me. I'm just focused on our team and our guys and doing what I can do, and I can only control what I can control. I can't control where they rank us preseason, but I can control where our team's at and how we play, you know, August 31st at Stanford, or August 30th at Stanford. So it's going to be fun.
Tons of momentum going into the fall for TCU athletics. And what are Jeremiah Donati's expectations on our football team?
You know, I think that the news of signing Andy Avalos as our new defensive coordinator kind of flew under the radar a little bit. It was a big Cowboys weekend, and so, you know, I think people are going to be really surprised at how revamped our defense is. And candidly, we struggled there last year. So with Josh Hoover not yet being a household name and the defense that had some questions last year, you know, I think that's probably why I picked a little bit lower. But I'm really bullish on this team and fired up to get fall camp started.
Paris-bound TCU women's basketball player Haley Van Lith talks about why she came to TCU and what she has to prove in her last year of college athletics. How does her style complement Sedona Prince? What does she look forward to in her first Olympics? And what experiences does she look to take back to TCU? And what is the biggest difference between 3-on-3 and 5-on-5? Now that she's here at TCU, what was her first impression of Fort Worth? And how about that food? We wish Haley the best of luck in Paris, and thank you for listening to our special edition of Frogs Today in Las Vegas. Join us for our regular episode on Friday. For everyone in Frogs Today, I'm Keegan Cunningham. Go Frogs.
Roxo Media House.